Hey, I'm Doug Thinker, and you're watching I Love My Job. You know, on this program, we're always looking, searching diligently for those people who love their job. And you know, really, truly, it's not a great challenge to us. We found one tonight, and it's Debbie Mack, an attorney at law with an MBA. And this woman loves her job, does a great job. We're going to talk about just exactly what she does and the services that she can offer you. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Doug.
Thank you very much for being on I Love My Job.
Oh, well, thank you so much for asking me. I'm quite honored.
Originally, you started where?
I am from Cleveland, and we lived in a small metro park right by the Emerald Diamond, and we had a little farm. My grandfather had been an industrialist working in a very small factory, and in that little piece of land we had the garden with the corn for the horses that we ran through the mill again for the chickens, and we had the rabbits and the ducks and, well, one skunk that didn't last very long. And that's where I'm from.
And how'd you get to Mansfield, Ohio?
Well, I had gone to law school with Jeannie Pitzer, one of the prosecutors here, and her family had taken me under wing, so I always knew, because growing up on a farm, I liked the sense of small community, that I would like to be in a more of a community type center and not just being lost up in the big city. So I moved down here, and you know, Jeannie's family opened their doors and let me live with them to get set up. Later on, attorney Steve Cockley and Jim Tyree took me under wing professionally and let me get started. And from there, I became a magistrate for a while down in Morrow County, and things just kept going.
Wow, good. We're glad that you're here.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for coming to Mansfield, Ohio.
It's been
undergraduate school?
Baldwin Wallace in Berea.
And your?
I went ahead and got my law degree at Cleveland State University, and then I went back just before my son turned 5, and I finished up my MBA at Ashland. So he was able to walk across the court with me, and it was very exciting.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Tell us about your family.
Well, right now, most of my family is all out of state, and so I have my cherished and beloved son, who's the center of my life. And then we have Clara Killinger, who's our Nana. Even though she's not blood related, she's better than blood.
That's great.
So, yeah.
How old is your son?
He's 10 years old.
10 years old. Goes to school, of course.
He goes to Discovery School.
Discovery. Well, good.
And may I brag just a bit?
Yes, please do.
He does so well in reading. And if you saw this child build things, it's just, I'm humbled that he's my child.
What's his name?
Jared.
Hi, Jared. Hi, Jared. We're glad that your mother is here with us tonight on I Love My Job. Well, hey, let's go back to that. I'm not making fun of that, but you do love your job. You told me that.
Yes, I do.
Why? Why do you love your job?
I've been through a lot in my life. I've had certain struggles and impairments, and I have empathy for many of my clients. 70% of all of the clients have had some type of medical impairments. They've either had a heart attack or a stroke, or they got injured at work, or they're now going on Social Security. And when I can get to somebody in time and help them gracefully take the logical steps to put themselves in the best possible position, that really makes me feel good, because they get caught in the cracks of life, and they don't know what is out there in the programs that are available. So I guess I do somewhat glorified social work at times too.
Well, good for you. Now, when I look at attorneys, and we're looking at you, Debbie Mack, and I'm thinking of specialties, what is your specialty as far as law is concerned?
Well, I've had a nice general practice background, but upon that I built doing my foreclosure defense, where I help people stay within their homes through a variety of means. And then I also have my bankruptcy portion of it. But what I'm really good at doing is there's another little range in between, which is to avoid bankruptcy and avoid foreclosure totally, to help people get out of their financial distress.
Now, tell me about this combo, which I think is kind of interesting and fascinating, and has to add a high degree of your knowledge, wisdom, and your background experience, and that's with a law degree and an MBA.
Right, it's all number crunching. So when people come to me, I'm able to go and to pull numbers in from like the United States Trustees website, or I pull numbers in from other areas, and my research, I'm in all these different applications on my computer, but I can tie it in and make it work and make it fit because I understand budgets. I put people in something they can actually live with, and I look at the whole picture. I don't just look at, okay, you need a 50-page petition to file a bankruptcy. I'm able to round it out and say, hey, let's go back to school, and you might be able to go get a scholarship here. Hey, you've got student loans. Well, here's how to get them out of default, and this is how much time you need before you can get those loans so they're consolidated, or before you could take out more student loans. And I teach them about realistic numbers based a lot on either the general consensus or just I've done thousands of people's financial applications coming through.
Now, I would think with the situation, the economy that we have gone through since 2007 or 2008, and of course, needless to say to all people, foreclosures have been a big issue nationwide, but particularly, because I'm local, I find page after page in the news journal of foreclosures.
Yes, that is very, very upsetting. And I know that our local courts have tried to put in measures for people so that they can try to keep their homes, and they even have an answer right in with the summons when people get served with the foreclosure papers. There are nonprofit agencies within our county with whom I work on a regular basis that we all work together to try to get them into the right program. The problem is people are going onto the internet, or they're signing up for a foreclosure defense company, not a lawyer, and paying them money. They have no contract, they have no paperwork. I just had a man in my office again, and he said, well, I paid $1,500 for this debt relief agency, and my foreclosure's going on. I haven't got the paperwork approved. I said, well, can I see the papers from this company? He didn't have it. So you've got to go to the right people and get plugged into the right program.
Yeah.
So I would say that, if anything, if you have been unemployed within the last, really since 2007, if you've had medical debt, if you had some kind of major life change such as divorce, there are programs there to help. There's two primary programs. The first is the state level, and that is only going to last through the end of December. That is called Saving the Dream. People can go to www.savingthedream.com.
Can I pick up on that? I need to take a quick break.
Sure.
Okay? Don't go away.
All right.
Debbie Mack we're talking to, attorney, a law attorney, MBA. We're talking about bankruptcy, foreclosure. This is the woman that has the answers. We're coming right back. You got to watch this. Very, very important, folks. Once again, I'm Doug Fager. We're talking to my special guest, Debbie Mack, tonight. And again, she's an attorney with an MBA. And I cut you off. I want to hear that. Continue on, please.
Okay. There are two separate programs that help people. One's the federal government, and the other is the state. We're one of only 18 states that received special assistance, and that's going to only be good through the end of this year.
I'm sorry. And you're talking about 2014?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry.
They've
Go ahead.
got to apply now.
Okay.
Under the state program, we can receive up to $35,000. And part of that is split up over a 5-year mortgage. And every year, 20% of it comes away. They want to make sure people stay in their homes. So if you were behind because maybe you had a car accident, the company or the program is set up so that it will get you caught up and pay on your arrears. Now that's including homeowners insurance and real estate taxes, in addition to the next 18 months going forward using up that $25,000 or up to the $35,000. They can go ahead and they can pay off a second mortgage. They can also go and there's several different programs in there, but that's the biggest one, is that people know there's $25,000 out there that you might be able to apply for that will get you caught up on your arrears and pay you forward. You can get caught up on your real estate taxes. People need to know that that program's there and it's only good through the end of 2014.
Okay, let's paint by the numbers. Give me a play-by-play scenario that somebody's going to fit into this program.
Okay. I had clients that came in, and the woman was applying for a disability, Social Security disability, because of a medical. So they've already got a lot of medical debt. We knew that the husband was going to be getting laid off also, and they knew ahead of time that this was going to be happening. So they had come to me. We were able to get them plugged into the program actually before it even occurred, so that everything went very smoothly, and they were able to get 18 months going forward. And that gave her more time to go by, because the average Social Security case is going to be taking 2 years.
Yes.
So at least we got them up to 18 months. They could get caught up on their regular medical bills, and then they would be able to be reinstated, and the house was taken care of. They're not going to go anywhere, so they didn't have to worry about that mortgage coming off.
So in this particular case, this scenario ends at the end of 2014.
Right. When you start getting your money, that ends at 2014, but then it can go forward another 18 months even beyond that to keep making those payments.
Okay, somebody watching tonight, or they know of somebody, whatever the case may be, that person or the person they know is having difficulties making the payments on their house.
Right.
And it looks like they're going to lose their house through foreclosure, correct?
Right.
They need to call Debbie Mack.
Yes, and I will put them in touch with the free government programs. I mean, I can do it, but I always try to tell people, let me go and do the right thing, and it always comes back when you do the right thing, and you tell them where they can get it done for free first.
Okay.
So I would like the opportunity to also look at the other factors that are going around it, because when you have a mortgage company, they have several different departments. So you've got one department that's on the foreclosure track, and then you have a whole separate department. Trust me, they don't talk. This company is then, or this department is trying to do loss mitigation to get you reinstated. So while both of these are working almost against each other, they don't know about it. So you might be in the middle of some type of an application to go get financial assistance, but you get sued. You really need to get a lawyer to make sure that they don't file what's called summary judgment, saying there's no genuine issue of fact. As a matter of law, we win because you're late. So we work on that quite a bit. I would also like to tell you about the federal program. If there are clients out there that were making quite a bit of money and they've either retired or they're part of this economic crisis that we're going through, and they're making literally 1/3 of what they used to, the government's program on the federal side is set up, it's called Making Homes Affordable, or HAMP. So people can go to makinghomesaffordable.com or .gov and understand that they will take your gross income per month. It's your total gross household income times 0.31. And that will be your real estate taxes, your insurance, and your actual principal and interest. So if you have a $2,000 house payment, but 1/3 of it is, I'm not very good at math, but about $700, then you would only be paying $700 a month. Now that is permanent. The state is temporary, but the federal is permanent. And that's what you need to look at long term, is getting one of these modifications. Also, they have another aspect of it, which is going into the refinancing, called HAFA. And I get all these acronyms mixed up. But the one where they're able to, this is getting a little confusing even for me, they can, I'm completely losing track.
Well, the point of it is, what we need to do is talk to you.
Yes.
We need to make an appointment and come in, and for you to research my dilemma, my case, and you're going to help me solve that.
That's right.
And that's what it's all about. We're talking to Debbie Mack, once again, an attorney by law as well as an MBA. We're talking about foreclosures. Again, if you or someone is having problems, see, the thing of it is where this person is so important to us is information, information, information. And as a layman, I just don't know. And that's what you know. We're coming back with Debbie Mack right after this. So you need to come back to this program. Once again, you're watching I Love My Job. We're talking to Debbie Mack. She's an attorney with an MBA, and we're talking about information that you need to know. Okay, Debbie, I'm going through some of these notes, and I'm looking at the word HARP, H-A-R-P. What does that mean?
HARP is when the government does the modification for you. And that is where the people need to apply through HARP, which is a government program, so they're not going to an outside vendor and having to pay all those closing costs. Now, there might be certain situations where, you know, it's not going to work, but generally you try to always get the government one first. It's there for you. Also, if you're not able to keep your house, there's up to $7,500 where you can get a transition assistance. So you just have to carefully do it. If I may very briefly go into a little sidebar, but you have a deed, a note, and a mortgage. People don't understand the difference in what their liability is for each one of these.
Oh.
If you're on the deed and you file bankruptcy, then the note goes away, but you're still on the mortgage and you're still on the deed. If they foreclose, then you have to be careful because you're no longer liable under, in that case, for these three things, but you have to look at whether or not the deed is confirmed. Until you can show that the deed is out of your name, the city or the county or whoever's going to be doing it might come in and cite you if we're not doing the weeds. If you have some kind of a sewage assessment, you have ongoing real estate taxes, it doesn't end. And you also are having an issue with some of my clients have had their houses condemned, or they just tore them down because they were in such disarray, and now they owe $10,000. So people need to go talk to a lawyer about that and how you actually get your name off of the deed.
Okay. Let me switch gears with you for just a moment along that same line. Talk to me about bankruptcy.
Okay. There are several types of bankruptcy, but there's only two generally that people do. There's Chapter 7, the walkaway, and there's Chapter 13, which is the repay. The 7 is good is if you have ended all of your debt, you've got a job and you know where you're going, and you don't own too much stuff. What they do is they take a picture of what you look like on that one day, and it's a snapshot. There's look back periods and there's also looking forward periods you have to be careful of. Everything you own goes into the pot. And the pot means all your assets, it's called your estate.
Yes.
And then you can take out your pillow, you can take out your car, you can take out other things as long as they're exempt, and I will go into that next. But if you have a stretch limousine in the middle of it, and that's not exempt, then the trustee is going to take that stretch limousine, sell it, and then pay your unsecured creditors. So if people understand that the laws just changed on March 19th, 2013,
okay,
they have to get this message out to the public. You can have a house in your name if you're the only person on it, and that house can be worth almost $133,000. If your spouse is on the house too, you can have $266,000 worth of equity and keep your house in bankruptcy.
Whoa.
Yes.
Yeah.
The reason that they did that is to encourage homeowners to keep going, and they want to encourage entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So otherwise people were losing their homes if their business failed. So this is a very, very big deal. It's kind of like the way Florida has it.
Yeah. Got a lot of information. Boy, we're pouring it on tonight. Debbie Mack is doing that. What you need is to make a personal contact with this lady where you can sit down one-on-one where she can fill in all the blanks that we're missing tonight. A lot to tell you. We're coming right back with I Love My Job. You need help? Call Debbie Mack. Once again, I'm getting calls, collection calls. What should I do?
Put it in writing and get it to the person who is calling you. In Ohio, one person being aware of the phone call is sufficient to record it. That means that you can record this creditor calling you. You can record them telling you, like calling you a thief. Mm-hmm. You can record when they're telling you things that they cannot do. The law protects you, and then get to a good lawyer. People have got to take charge and not be the victim in these cases. If you don't know where you are with your debt, if it's just the massive blur and you're afraid to touch it, I have methods all set up. It's very easy to understand, but get to us and we can actually hopefully avoid your entire bankruptcy. If I'll go back and I will sue those creditors for what they're doing that's wrong. There's good collection agencies, and then there's ones out there that are picking and closing up in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. So record, keep a copy of whenever they're calling, write it down and what they're saying to you, and then find a good lawyer who does FDCPA, which is the Federal Debt Collection Practices Act.
Okay. Wow, you're good.
Thank you. I try very hard to help people.
I can tell you've got a lot of passion and a lot of emotion in all this in your work.
Yes.
That's good. No wonder you love your job.
I really do.
Once again, we're talking to attorney MBA Debbie Mack. We have a phone number for her. Again, there's lots of information. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a phone number. Thanks, Chris. It's on the screen at this time. Give her a call. Debt collection, bankruptcy, foreclosures. You got problems of any type of this nature, give her a call where you can sit down and fill in all the blanks that are necessary. You've been watching I Love My Job. I'm Doug Thaker. I thank you very, very much for that. Once again, we're a program like this woman here providing you with information and education that you need to know. This is really TV worth watching. Thanks a lot. See you next week right here, and good night.